वेलकम टू अनअकैडमी शोकेस। मेरे इस तरफ है IIM ग्रेजुएट्स और इस तरफ है ISB ग्रेजुएट्स। डिस्कशन का जो मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव होने वाला है वो है आपकी जर्नीज, कैसे आपके इंस्टीट्यूट ने आपको शेप किया, और चाहो तो एक दूसरे को थोड़ा बहुत रोस्ट भी कर सकते हो। सिद्धांत, मैं आपसे स्टार्ट करूंगी। एक बार अगर आप ये बता पाओ कि आपने कैसे डिसाइड किया MBA करने का, एंड स्पेसिफिकली IIM क्यों चूज किया ओवर लेट्स से ISB और एनी अदर B school?
So when I decided to do my MBA, I was the first thing that comes to mind is giving CAT and joining IIMs, right? So that was my thought process also. Gave CAT, got a good percentile. After that, started having expectations and started more tilting towards कि we'll be able to crack one of A, B, C, L and join there. My work experience was also 1 year only, so I felt that it would be more suited towards an IIM where even with a lesser work experience you are able to like gel with the crowd.
I have a follow-up in the sense कि did you know ISB at that time? Did you know that there's an option to go to another B school which has like 1 year ka program and everything?
Even then ISB had become big. It has been becoming bigger and bigger ever since. So at that time also I had that knowledge. ISB I knew about it, but it wasn't that big of an option for me.
Got it. Kanika, I would want to understand from you because you have that ISB ka pura exposure. So when you were deciding to do an MBA, the choice of IIMs versus ISB, how did you make that choice?
The choice was very simple. मुझे CAT नहीं देना था. तो like अगर CAT नहीं देना, फिर भी एक best business school में पढ़ाई करनी है, then ISB was the only option. Also, in addition to what Siddhant was mentioning, here the work ex he was at was less than 2 years or one and a half years. Where I was at 5.5 years of work experience. So IIMs at that point, by the virtue of being a mid-career professional, it was actually not an option for me. So quite the opposite for me. And ISB Hyderabad was where I went eventually, and I can easily say, and I'd love to know more about IIM experiences, but it was the best year of my life. I don't think anything can replicate that 1 year.
1 year MBA was also a criteria for you, was it?
Right, actually you're right, because again mid-career professional, so which is also like ISB, hones people who have more work experience. So I was very eager to go back to school. I don't think I saw myself studying for 2 years after having worked 5.5 years. In fact, studying for 1 year was also very difficult.
So Vibhav, you just graduated, right, in 2023. So a follow-up here, like extending the conversation that Kanika just mentioned, I just want to know if your experience has been the same, and what options did you have? Did you consider IIMs या आपको भी CAT नहीं देना था?
हाँ, तो quite same कि नहीं देना था मुझे CAT. What I considered CAT was again non-engineer. तो मेरे को था कि वो जो आप एक भूत बना रखा है ना JEE वाला, वो वापस CAT में वापस वो same. So GMAT gave me a lot more flexibility, especially the job I was doing at that time. In that job, October-November is considered comparatively a busier period, so I wouldn't have gotten leaves उस time around. तो CAT तो इसलिए भी मेरे एलिमिनेट हो गया था, या तो मैं जॉब चेंज करूँ पहले, ठीक है, या फिर मैं कुछ बहुत ही ऐसा करूँ कि how am I supposed to give CAT if I'm not able to get leaves around that time. So I had decided for going to ISB in my undergrad only. So I applied to 2 colleges. I was clear that I want to do MBA from India only. So I applied to only 2 colleges, which was ISB and then SPJFR. These were the 2 colleges in India which are like the top tier colleges, and they accept GMAT.
So 2 non-engineers on my left hand side, and Rudra, you are also a non-engineer.
Yeah, I'm a non-engineer.
So now we have someone who's a non-engineer and who took CAT. So we would like to understand why you chose IIMs, and did you have ISB even in the consideration pool or not?
So I don't know, why is that even a question? Okay. I mean, I'm just being a little snobbish here, I'm sorry. But to be very honest, ISB wale mujhe lete nahi because I was a fresher. I was not, and back then, of course, I knew about ISB. It was one of the upcoming colleges and universities, like as she was saying. But other than that, one major reason was that I was a fresher and I didn't want to have a gap in my education. Okay, once you get in the career trajectory, when you start working, right, sometimes you just fall out. You don't understand कि अब 2 से 3 साल कब हो गए, 4 साल कब हो गए, and you can never go back. It was the thing that when you get straight out of college and non-engineer, right, in the market you don't have such well opportunities, especially when you're a commerce graduate, right? The learning curve is not that steep. To be very honest, IIM was a dream. Like, you can't match a 50-year-old legacy with
Don't say.
I'm waiting for her to finish the sentence.
Yeah.
Then I can pick on it.
Okay, moderator here.
As a fresher, you were fine with coping up with the pressure that came immediately after
Yeah, that I can definitely agree to. That if I had a little more work experience, I would have taken that. If given a chance now that, hey, can you want to go back and like take some work ex and come back for the MBA, I would have done that.
But you know, it's interesting that you mentioned the 50-year legacy. I think, say like when we were in colleges, when we graduated in early 2010 era, there was, I think IIMs have been a dream, like for the majority of Indian aspirants who are coming out of college and still in college. But I think that was my other pull, right? Like in say 2000s when ISB started, no one could have imagined that there's going to be this new entrant in an already existing market of MBA, where these are established government institutions, right? They have had legacy of their own that will be at par, and in some list perhaps above than, you know, most of the IIMs that are out there.
Controversial.
But
चलो, coming to the next question, I want to understand, because you are mentioning कि पहले इतना नहीं था, 2000s के बाद एकदम immediate growth हुआ है ISB का. So I want to understand what are those differentiating factors that you think, of course because IIM वालों ने अपनी journey जी है, ISB वालों ने अपनी जी है, but you must have heard IIMs के बारे में भी, उनके experiences. What would you say was a differentiating factor about ISB?
So, I think of that, like I think three things come to my mind as you ask that question. I think the first differentiator is just the kind of faculty that comes in. We bring in, the school brings in faculty from all over the world. To give you an example, we were taught finance by the Dean of Wharton at that time. We were taught strategy by this professor that everyone was very fond of, Mr. Prashant Kale. And he's talking about the Tata Jaguar merger acquisition. It's a strategy class. And then he says, I was actually in that room with Mr. Tata when that happened. And that moment of silence in the room, I think the professors bring in their actual experiences, having consulted. ISB is primarily a consulting school, so having consulted or being on boards of different companies. So it's a mix of their research work, but also real life experiences, and we all were like starstruck.
Must have been a goosebumps.
Oh, I remember, I have graduated 6 years out. I can't remember the name of my modules, but I do remember that class. And the second thing is my peers, right? So similar, the same professor. And we are talking about this case study. It was on Southwest. So like how Southwest came in and disrupted the market, right? With a low pricing. And then he picks up someone from the class who's worked in Indigo or has worked in, in this charter system. And now imagine you are doing a case study, but then someone who's actually done that on ground and faced that problem is giving you their perspective. So we all can really learn from each other. I think my greatest learning was, of course, maybe a little bit from the classes, but a lot from just hearing people's experiences. And I was a founder at the time when I had gone to ISB. So like meeting other founders and trying to understand what were their challenges, how did they solve it.
Other famous faculty that I learned from was, like, we had negotiations class from Raghuram Rajan. Then I learned accounting from the ex-dean of Texas A&M University, which is considered the best university for accounting. Our current dean is actually ex-deputy dean of LBS. So the faculty, you can just count on ISB to bring in the best of the world and offer you the bestest possible cases, bestest possible scenarios. I don't think anybody can match, at least in India, these kind of faculties. And I think even abroad, one single school can't match these kind of faculties.
अब तो मेरे दिमाग में भी doubts आ रहे हैं.
नहीं.
We already have great professors in-house. So.
हमें बुलाना नहीं पड़ा. मतलब I just want to add here, जहाँ पे आप भी please. For me, I think from like our MBA was, यार हमें life के लिए prepare कर रहे थे वो. Like just, and I want to say this from our CAT का paper. CAT का paper problem solving तो judge कर रहा था, but stress में आप कैसे cope करते हो वो भी judge करता है. कि यार आप कोई भी कंपनी में हो, एक दिन रिसेशन आएगा, वो एक दिन नोटबंदी आ जाएगी, आप उस एक मोमेंट पे कैसे रिएक्ट करोगे? और सारे लोगों को उसी एक मोमेंट पे खड़ा करते हैं उस पेपर लिखने के टाइम पे.
Yeah, on that point I agree. Wherein, in terms of education style, I don't think it changes a lot between IIMs and ISB. Right? It's a case study based education where you're thrown real life problems that professors have seen or CEOs have faced. Different from how you would have studied in your school or your undergrad. That is a clear distinction. Even on professors, right? There are professors. Even for us, they were coming from outside. They were great professors that were in-house itself, right? Very good, famous brands. After a class, you want to get up and clap. That is the kind of feeling that you were expressing. I think the standout for IIMs is the alum network, wherein, say, you have a 2-year course, right? Because of that, you are able to form such strong camaraderie with your immediate senior batch that the campus promotes that camaraderie, and because of that, once you get out of college, also you're able to continue that bond. That results in strong camaraderie, and that results in a very strong culture also.
At this point, Vibhav, a question to you, because if, like, let's say alum network का association 2 year versus 1 year के case में थोड़ा differ करता होगा. So I want to ask you, how was that 1 year versus 2 year वाला experience?
So if you're talking about the alum wala aspect, so obviously we don't have seniors. Okay, our being a 1 year course, we don't have seniors. So whatever role in your life seniors played is being played by alums. So in our college, we feel alum involvement is much higher in a comparative other college, because as soon as we start, almost every other weekend there's some alum from somewhere who has come to college for some session, some talk, some discussion or anything. So alum involvement is a lot. So as soon as placements start, then we have alums flying in to review our resumes, alums flying in to take mock interviews. Coming to other points of 2 years versus 1 year, obviously the opportunity cost we have is better. We get back into the employment pool in like 1 year earlier, afford to be away from earning, because at that time many of our cohort members are like bread earners for their family, so you can't be away from earning. So that's why a 1 year makes sense for them too.
So शायद आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों को ये ना पता हो, तो मैं एक बार बता देती हूँ कि ISB का जो फी है वो IIMs के रिलेटिव ज्यादा होता है, इन द सेंस कि ऑलमोस्ट 40 लाख आप बता रहे थे, 40 लाख होता है 1 साल का, whereas IIMs में ऑन एन एवरेज आप 25 लगा लो जो टॉप IIMs है उनका for 2 years. So I want to understand from you कि ROI perspective से which college stands out better?
I mean, let's just start from the paper itself. GMAT is an expensive affair, right? A lot of people here write the CAT across India, and they might not come from that affluent and expensive affair where they can give that paper, and not एक बार नहीं, आप 2 बार 3 बार, जितना आपका attempt होता है, जितना आपका score लाना होता है. So उस starting से ही, of course ROI, उससे ही अगर आप compute करने लग जाओ, तो definitely I feel IIMs give you that back, right? And on an average, हमारे पास, I think I speak from IIM अभी के लिए, we are 100% placed. We get the best consulting firms, we get the best marketing firms. On an average, I think the first CTC goes from like, there's a range where it starts from like a 28, 30, say वो चालू होता है 24, 28 से start होता है, and I think the package that we gain after is almost the same, but the amount that we put in is relatively very less than what they do.
So how would you defend it, Kanika?
So I think one thing is that, like, because ISB is a place where you come with 3 to 4 years of experience. The way I think of ROI is, right, like in terms of immediately getting out of the school, and then you look at a 5-year benchmark, the kind of progress you make in that mid-senior to senior level management position is immense, right? Versus like maybe IIM, because you're a fresher, that the starting base where we are at is anyway, like, so even if it's lower, that jump is much more. ISB, by the virtue of being a consulting school, we also like get the top tier consulting companies, we get like marketing and operations. But I think that because they are paying you like I want to say a premium, or like say average, higher than average MBA salaries, they are looking for people who've had that previous experience.
Company set is almost 80 to 90% similar, which comes to IIMs, which comes to ISB. What we feel is a difference is sometimes those companies give an entry level jobs to IIMs, because it's just that the students there are freshers, but sometimes the companies who are coming to us are giving that mid to senior level, because we have people who have 8 years of work ex, 5 years of work ex, so obviously they won't be starting at a level similar to someone who's just 23-year-old.
Is there like a 100% placement rate at ISB? Because IIMs mein hai.
So yeah, so ISB also has that 100% placement rate. I think all the colleges put out their placement report and show their numbers. I think ISB ka average for last year was around 34 in my year. This year, the report hasn't yet come out, so we don't know the numbers. If someone doesn't get placed in day 0 or day 1, which are the two like most prominent days, I think 90% of the class gets placed in day 1 till day 1. Then ISB, I think, takes special care of you, like makes you fly to give you interviews, talks to like senior management of companies. So yeah, so the placements in ISB are not student driven. We don't get involved anyway. We have a pool of professionals, 30-35 people working in ISB throughout the year who are working for placement. So they build a relationship with our corporate clients who comes to hire from ISB. So the placements is taken care of like very well in ISB.
And so for both the campuses, is it centralized placement?
Yeah, it's common placement. So for Mohali and Hyderabad, there's no difference in placement. The placements happen together, and the recruiters are not told which campus a student is for.
I do not agree with the point around कि placements में the number of companies are same. Finance companies are forming a major chunk, right? So out of a 450 batch, some 100 students get into finance, right? It's a major chunk, which I would understand are not coming that heavily. So that is the clear distinction that I'm talking about. For the rest of the roles, even in consulting and all, typically, because we're doing an IIM versus ISB, that is why I'm highlighting this point. What I've seen is, even say from ISB, with enough experience in a consulting scenario, you join at 1 level plus. Generally, you end up getting say 1 level plus because of the experience, right? So roughly the starting package may not be changing a lot, right? So those are 2 points of distinction. In terms of other companies, wherein people have a set work ex, so there is laterals that is happening on campus, where more experienced people can also get into those kind of roles, right? So average salary wise, we would also be, so I don't have the latest numbers. I graduated in 2017, right? So my numbers would be a little different, right? But yeah, similar.
So Rudra graduated in 2021. So maybe you can complete the average CTC wala point. Ki kitna rehta hai?
हाँ. Before that, I just want to highlight one thing. It's the internship opportunity. Since I was a fresher, for me internship opportunity was really very important because I haven't seen any company. मैं कहीं काम करके नहीं आई थी.
अगर आप में से भी कोई कैट 2024 की तैयारी कर रहा है, देन आपको अनअकैडमी के टेस्ट सीरीज को चेकआउट करना चाहिए, which has been prepared by India's top educators. इस टेस्ट सीरीज को उन्होंने सेक्शन वाइज डिवाइड किया है. इसमें आपको फुल 10 मॉक्स बच जाएंगे, हर सिंगल सेक्शन की टेस्ट मिलेंगे, इवन चैप्टर वाइज आपको टॉपिक टेस्ट भी मिल जाएंगे. This will actually help you prepare perfectly well for your entire preparation. तो अगर आप इसे चेकआउट करना चाहते हैं तो डिस्क्रिप्शन में गिवन लिंक पे क्लिक कर लीजिए.
There's a question and I think a lot of people can relate because freshers भी होंगे, work experience वाले students भी देख रहे होंगे. So एक question है कि जिसका मान लो fresher है, कोई experience नहीं है, क्या उसे IIM चूज करना चाहिए, ISB चूज करना चाहिए in the future? Like उसको अपना work trajectory कैसा बनाना चाहिए?
As of date, as a fresher, they won't be able to join ISB.
Correct,
that decision does not exist at that time. The work ex that they need to do would be similar only. Even if they want to go say 2-3 years down the line into an IIM or an ISB, it would be the same, right? My thought process would be that if it is until 3 years, then an IIM would be the way to go. Beyond 3 years, maybe ISB.
Anyone who asks this question, I think my personal opinion, a very strong opinion, is that even if you work like 2 years, not ISB or IIM, but like if you take that experience to a business school, what you can gain out of a business school is much more than what you gain if you are just right out of college, because also you have a little bit inclination of what you know. And also like people who have 0 to 2 or 0 to 3 years experience, they apply via another entry which is called early application EEO program. I'm forgetting the full name.
Early entry option.
Early entry option, thank you for that. So which means कि अगर आपके पास average से कम experience है तो also you can apply. What that basically means is कि आपका जो application है for example his application and if I were applying in the same, हम दोनों का एक दूसरे से compare नहीं होगा, but इनका compare होगा जो उन्होंने early entry option में apply किया, YLP का जो cohort है वो उसमें उनका they will compare and see which is the most suited candidate.
But you will still end up joining
After I complete my 2 years of work. But having that admission gives you the liberty to take risk in your life for the next 1.5 year, because now you know that 1.5 year baad you're gonna start an MBA. So if you want that 1.5 year to try out ventures, to try out things, to switch jobs, to follow your passion, you get a good leeway, because uske baad you know that ISB is coming.
And one last thing is that I feel like which is a great flexibility at IIM, right? Just hearing from their experiences is, you can try different industries. My assumption is, and you can correct me, even if you're coming from a different field and you want to say go to operations or marketing, you do that. Versus I think in ISB, that shift doesn't happen because, right, like if you are, and there's a reason for that, right? They're paying you a certain market salary, and what they want to do is if they're paying you that premium, they want to ensure they have that work experience and you're not like someone जिनको वो ground up सिखाएंगे, right? तो आपके experience पे leverage कैसे करें, and then how will they justify paying you that money? I think it comes that, so that's why I think it helps you go further up. I think we all write a lot of faff in our MBA applications कि मुझे MBA तो क्यों करना है, but actually when you do it, your goalpost, what we were talking, it keeps changing. So I think what I'm understanding is, with IIM and that 2-year rigorous work, the 2-year rigorous experience, you get that opportunity to shape yourself and hone your skills. Versus I think in ISB, you build on your foundation and you take it to the next level.
Got it. This is a very, very important point for anyone who is a working professional. कि let's say आपके पास 3 years का work ex है and आप decide कर रहे हो कि IIM join करें या ISB, please note that जो अभी आपने कहा exceptional cases हो सकते हैं where you're able to switch.
Completely switch.
Correct. Yeah. But mostly it will be like building on your experience and
this is more true for people who are coming out with 5, 8, 10 essay wale years of work ex. Someone like me, I to completely switched, and most of the people who come with like 3, 4 years of work ex, they completely switch, because now before ISB we were doing entry level jobs. Even if you were working for consulting companies, that work ex was not aisa kuch work ex that someone would pay a premium to get, right? We were just an analyst or something like that. So for younger folks, the shift happens, and I think the shift happens to the common jobs of consulting, PM, marketing and stuff like that. But for the experienced level folks, they have to, like, the companies obviously are hiring them for their experience.
So it I think really depends, like 0 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7. What is that career try point you're at?
Got it. I want to address a point, and this is specifically for IIMs, because हमारे यहाँ पे diversity के भी बहुत points होते हैं.
Yes.
And we have seen that कई बार 70% of the batch is of engineers, but the rest of them come from a diverse pool, especially at Ahmedabad.
Yes.
So, would you like to help us understand वो diversity कैसे आपको help करती है in the batch?
God, yeah. I mean, I can speak about myself in this. I am as diverse as it gets. Okay, I'm not an engineer. I'm not a CA. I am not from DU. I'm from Mumbai University. I used to be an actor before I joined the IMA. I used to be a marketing graduate. And trust me, a female, thank you. So this is diversity. This is what I'm talking about, right? Again, this is the professional level experience, and then there's a work ex level experience, like your freshers, then your 2 years and above, and then somebody who's like above 5 years. And also I would like to add that we also have PGPX. That's a program at IMA where we welcome professionals with more than 5 years of experience to come, and they are also part of the same campus, so you can go and interact with them as well.
So for ISB, what we call 70% engineers, the ratio is only 50%. So whatever she said is just more present in ISB. We have Olympic. In my batch there was an Olympic medalist, so the diversity quotient is just out of the world for ISB. Even the selection process of ISB involves a lot of points to diversity. Like when you see IIM's selection process, ISB does not have a metric, so every profile is evaluated and just considered, is this profile good enough for ISB? And so it doesn't matter if you're an engineer, if you're a CA, if you're a lawyer, if you're any other coming from any other profession. We have all sorts of and in ISB we don't consider women as a diversity.
how many of these people actually then do different jobs?
Yeah, I also
You
had
can't
this-
go back to
yeah.
an army going from ISB
Yeah,
or
but
something like
that's
that.
what in IIMs, right? That you see people writing books, people being full-time content
Yeah, we have
creators.
content kid like
Yeah. You need to let me finish.
Yeah, sure.
So we have people who are writing books, who are full-time content creators. We have people who are working with the government. We have also people who are like cricket anchors. All this with the academics, I think it's an amazing
So, you
thing.
know, I think something which is a parallel, and because, you know, I had also never had an experience in detailed discussion with someone from IIM, I think a lot of it is similar.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really like you versus me on my school versus yours, but I think if I look at stimulation, if I look at diversity of people, like having someone who's in the national swimming team, for example, someone coming from army, literally been on borders and fought wars, and coming to B school, just they want to change trajectory. I think that is what I'm taking away, is similar to what an IIM has and also what an ISB has, and I think that's the reason why IIMA and IIMs and ISB come in a similar line. You know, when you go to a B school, it's not just class, it's the kind of people you meet and it's the kind of experiences you have. I don't know how it was for you, but when I started, like, it was very overwhelming being a non-engineer, competing with the IITs, yeah, you know, and the top cream in the country. And the point that I want to make, you know, to the people who are thinking of MBA is like, you realize that at some point in your MBA journey that you're here for a reason. And while, like, say, quant may not be your number one criteria that where you're competing, but it's going to be something else. It's going to be a marketing club, it's going to be an events coordinator, it's going to be, I don't know, starting a new, we have something known as special initiative groups. So, you know, we sort of started a stand-up comedy club, for example, right? And I think that's the essence of B schools, be it IIM or ISB.
Agreed.
Like, how can they help you see that side to yourself that you wouldn't know if you didn't give that cat, if you didn't give that GMAT, right? You're just sitting at home being comfortable and not putting it yourself out there. You'll not know.
So हमने बाकी सारी बातें तो डिस्कस की, बट हमने कैंपस लाइफ के बारे में बात नहीं की है. Now being from an IIM and having watched 2 states, again I speak about 2 states in every single video. But having watched that, I know कि campus life is fun at the IIMs, but I'll come to you as well. But ISB में कैसा है?
A lot more fun. I think I'll start from that. But if I think of my time at ISB, so the only thing that comes to my mind is like lots of quad parties. We share a quad which is like 4 rooms, and you know, every other day will be someone's birthday, it'll be like some event, and you know, you do a get together and you party till sunrise. But I think one thing I want to add is like ISB has a specially dedicated student council team.
So adding to this, I think the fun part is, yes. Other than that, what adds to the campus life is the hospitality. I think it's not there in IIMs. We have a hotel level hospitality, a 5-star hotel level. You mess up your room, you go to your class. When you come back, your room is reset. Like, we have a turn down service in ISB. So the room is reset. Your bed sheets are always clean. You always have the freshest pillows. Your washrooms are always clean. You can have a killer party in your quad. Leave it in a mess, like TV idhar udhar, like the table is ulta, and whenever you come back, it'll be back to normal as someone pressed a
Hold
reset.
on. You have a TV?
In our, we have a TV. We have central AC.
College में नहीं है hotel.
We have centrally AC rooms. We have TV. We have central heating. We also have a liquor license on our campus, so it's legal to drink.
अब 8 साल के work experience के बाद what do you
8 साल की work experience के बाद what are you expecting?
We also have a bar on campus.
भाई साहब.
So it's a whole ecosystem, I
Yeah.
think, is what I would say.
What are you going to say
So,
to the parties and the mess?
पार्टीज नहीं, मेरे को सिर्फ एक बार मेस और डॉम्स के बारे में कुछ बोलना चाहिए. इतना इन्होंने बताया, इनको क्लीन चद्दरें मिलती है. ये क्या मजा है. सारी मूवीज देखिए बॉलीवुड की. कैंपस लाइफ अगर चाहिए जहाँ पे तुम दूसरे के दरवाजे पे बोल रहे हो भाई थोड़ा साबुन दे दे कपड़े धोने हैं.
as a culture, right, nothing stands in front of Calcutta. Very, very strong in terms of
Okay, so
parties.
it's not IIM, it's just Calcutta then,
I
not
think Calcutta
everyone.
Because I
some-
can talk about my own personal
And
experience.
secondly,
They have some council,
then
lah.
I will let her speak her mind about Ahmedabad. But in Calcutta, right, firstly, very good party culture. Because they made the point around parties, that is why I'm firstly emphasizing on that, wherein you have some regular parties at some regular intervals that are happening year on year, every year. In December, you have a Remini where there are all the alums that come to that 3-day event. The campus is kind of locked down and it's a complete party fest for everyone. Amazing experience, a real experience over there. One of the exciting parts also was that when we would look around, we would see future CEOs, future people who are going to become big at some point in time. However, staying in that kind of a close-knit dorm, right? The close-knit rooms, which is very small in size, but that I believe creates more camaraderie. You have an exchange program. That is one of the standout things about IIM, wherein in the 5th trimester you are able to go abroad, spend the entire trimester over there, roam around, study also. In some cases, get another degree over there.
I think
been
1
a
point
heated
difference, we don't even get 1 degree, leave 2 degrees. Ours is just a certificate.
सुन लो भाई, MBA करना है कि नहीं? आ जाना.
So, पूरी डिस्कशन में मैंने इन लोग को आपस में लड़ने से तो रोक लिया है, बट अब हम एक फन सेक्शन करेंगे जहां हम थोड़ा मसाला ऐड करेंगे और आपको लड़ने का पूरा मौका देंगे. तो एक क्विज करते हैं छोटा सा. आई विल आस्क यू गाइस, यानी कि IIM टीम को मैं क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगी ISB के बारे में और टीम ISB को मैं क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगी IIM के बारे में, एंड देखते हैं कि कौन ज्यादा पॉइंट स्कोर करता है आउट ऑफ 5. Ready? Woohoo! Okay, so let us start with team IIM only क्योंकि ज़्यादा excited है वो. So related to ISB, are CAT scores accepted in ISB?
No, I think GMAT is the way to go.
ऐसे थोड़ी एक आंसर बताओ ना, फाइनल बताओ क्या है.
Trick question. Yeah, yes.
क्या yes?
Must be accepted
Must
if you are
be
asking.
Yeah.
No, is CAT accepted at ISB?
नहीं, उन्होंने बोला इनको कैट नहीं लिखनी थी.
CAT exam score is what she's asking. So yeah, must be.
Yes, it's accepted.
It is
It
accepted.
is accepted.
Yes.
Lock कर दिया जाए.
हाँ,
कर दो.
लॉक किया जाए.
No, only GMAT and GRE.
Team
We thought it was a
IIM
trick
0.
question.
कोई बात नहीं, कोई
Okay.
बात नहीं.
Let's go for ISB now. How many IIMs are there in India?
अरे यार, ये तो बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. नहीं 20 से तो ज्यादा कर दिए ना. जम्मू, जबलपुर सब में ज्यादा
ISB के बैच साइज की
टिक
तरह.
टिक 1,
बहुत सारे हैं. 20 something, above 20. Can we give a range?
no.
22.
20,
I don't know.
24 plus
20.
minus 2.
No, would that be 23 and 27 इतने नहीं होंगे ना.
मेरे हिसाब से 26 में
चलो
है.
प्लस.
चलो 22 ठीक है. 22 plus minus 2, 22.
Okay. Is that the final answer?
मतलब
Yes.
approximate guessing.
Correct. 21 IIM.
21.
Oh, you're right.
So, IIM Mumbai is the latest one.
हाँ, NIT.
Okay. So अभी तक तो टीम ISB जीत रही है. Let's see. IIM वालों के लिए next question is, what is the minimum work ex required to get into ISB?
2 years.
तो 2 साल.
Discuss कर लो आप.
3 बोला था उसने 3. वो तो बोला था 2.8 के बाद तो 3 हो ही जाता है.
नहीं, 2 years. 2 years is the minimum. No? While PK will be 2 years का है. 2 years.
Sir.
Lock कर दिया जाए.
Senior.
2 years.
2 years.
For YLP it's 20 months, for others 24 months.
हाँ तो 2
हाँ,
साल
दे
हो गया
सकते हैं.
है.
Plus minus 2 4
गड़बड़.
चलता है. Okay. ISB वालों के लिए question है, what are baby IIMs?
ये
The
नए वाले
newer
ना,
ones.
new ones.
The unrecognized ones.
I think black ही छोड़ के बाकी सारे.
Baby IIM. The one that have probably come up in the last 10 years. The newer IIM.
The newer IIMs are baby IIMs.
10,
Yeah, sure.
पक्का?
10 plus minus years.
हाँ, मतलब like my answer is that black ही छोड़ के बाकी सारे IIMs are baby.
टीम है. एक
No, black ही का क्या मतलब है?
Black.
अरे
BL.
BLACKI.
ये question होना चाहिए था. Black का मतलब बताओ.
Oh, that's all we need to hear.
हो गया.
Okay, ठीक है.
रेंजेस में बात करेंगे तो यही होना है. हमको डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन दे रहे हैं.
1 and 2. अभी तक का ये स्कोर है. IIM वालों के next question is, how many campuses does ISB have? Name them.
2 Hyderabad, Mohali. Hyderabad, Mohali.
Okay,
I think we
correct
gave it
answer.
away.
Yeah, 2 each हो
वही
चुका
तो
है. So ISB वालों के लिए question है, which IIM is popularly known as IIM Joka?
Calcutta. For sure, Calcutta.
Okay, Calcutta.
Correct answer. So 3-2.
अब जीत तो गए हो गया.
नहीं, ऐसे थोड़ी. Last question for IIM folks is, when was ISB established?
She said it.
2000. So that's what she said.
Yeah. But I know it's 22 years. 2000. ये हमको भी प्लस माइनस चलेगा. इनको तुमने काफी.
Yeah, should
चलो.
be.
हाँ
Plus
प्लस माइनस
minus
2
2.
should be. हाँ तो 2000 ठीक है.
No, अगर if it's plus minus 2, then we should go for 2002.
हाँ,
2001. plus minus 2.
हाँ.
2001 plus minus 2.
लॉक कर दिया जाए?
Yeah.
Okay, लॉक. That's correct.
2002.
Yeah.
That's good.
2002.
हम हमेशा तुक्के में भी right answer दे देते हैं.
Perfect. So अब 3 each हो चुका है. This is the last question. If you answer it correctly, then you win it. Okay. How many cat attempts can one take to get into IIMs?
I have no idea.
और दो ना दो cat.
No, do you think they have a limit?
I don't think so. JEE में है ना limit.
मैं नहीं बता
UPSC
रही.
में भी limit है.
वो इधर
UPSC
देख
का
रहा
no
था.
limit
वो
है.
दोनों validation है.
I have never heard cat
I don't.
having
हाँ
a
same
limit.
similar. They
Take,
do,
take,
but I have not
two.
heard कि cat में.
Take 3.
But क्या मतलब I have
Final
no clue about
answer.
it. I have not heard anything.
Unlimited.
Same. ठीक है.
think
I
so.
don't think there's a limit. We don't think there's a limit.
That's correct.
Karan Johar का hamper
ISB.
please.
Where is it? Where is it? I can't see it.
हाँ Karan Johar hamper.
It's going to be delivered to
I
our
also
home.
was like that.
Okay, so team ISB wins this challenge. But अब audience से ये question है कि after this entire discussion, no doubt आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा, and I'm sure कि आपको help करेगा in making the right choice for yourself. But comment में हमें ये बताओ कि according to you, which of the two campuses, ISB या IIMs, would be a better choice for you? Not asking कौन सा better है, but a better choice for you. Honestly guys, this has been a very fruitful discussion. मुझे personally बहुत ज़्यादा मज़े आए हैं, and I would love to wait for the comments कि ISB आता है या IIM आता है as the proper career option for these guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I truly hope कि आप सबको भी बहुत मज़े आए हों, बहुत कुछ सीखने को भी मिला हो. If you like this video, तो thumbs up press करना, because then it will reach out to many more aspirants जो confused होंगे. And if you want to watch more of such videos, then subscribe to Unacademy Showcase.